work it, make it, do it. Says harder, better, faster, stronger.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ron Williams.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
How's everybody doing tonight? Tonight, I'm going to tell you what my goal is here tonight. I want to let you in. I heard a lot of what was said prior to me coming out, and a lot of what I'm going to say, you'll probably hear repeated. And what I want to do is let you in on the mind of a champion and what it requires. And when I say champion, I'm not just talking about bodybuilding, but I found that if you use the same attitude and the same principles, that they work across the board, whether it's building a spiritual body or whether it's in business or whatever it might be. So I'm going to let you in on what goes through a person's mind. I remember for probably the last 20 years, I've been asked this question, and it surprises people at the answer. And the question is this: what secret do you have to make you a champion? And this is my reply. There's no secret. There's no magic potion. There's nothing outside of what's in you and what you're drawing from. And I say the first thing you've got to do is whatever that goal is you have to believe that it can be done. The next thing is you've got to believe that it can be done by you. And then after that, it requires hard work. It requires discipline. I heard the young man just left. I call him a young man because I'm old. That just left, he said that he does a lot of little things. He does a lot of little things, and you have to do those little things, and you have to do them well, over and over and over again, day after day after day after day, until you reach that goal that you're looking for. One of the biggest things for me has been visualization. And that's and you might say, okay, that's one nugget that I can, take into my toolbox, but it's huge. I remember my son came to me and he said, kind of timid, he said, "Dad, I want to start competing in bodybuilding." I said, "Oh, that's great." I never wanted to push it on them, but they were born with tremendous genetics. And I said, it's not the greatest body that wins, but it's the one that has the heart. It's the one that's willing to do what nobody else is willing to do. And so he said, "I want to compete in bodybuilding." And I said, "Okay." And he says, "But I want to win." I said, "You probably could win if you really wanted to." And then he took another step. He says, "I think I want to be as good as you." And I said, "Wait a minute, boy. Now you're crossing the line." I said, "I don't know if you've got what it takes. Just looking at you and your attitude and your personality, I don't know if you can do this." And he said, "Dad, I believe I can do it. I think if you help me, I can be better than you." I said, "I see a small problem." And I told him, I said, "Boy, look at the wall." I said, "Look over there. What do you see?" And he looked at the wall. And he said, "I see the wall." I said, "I want you to look again. Look at the wall." And he looked at the wall and he said, "Dad, I see the wall." And I said to him a third time, I said, "You're disappointing me. Look at the wall and tell me what you see." And he looked at the wall as if something was going to jump off the wall and speak to him. And he said, "Dad, I'm sorry. All I can see is the wall." And I said to him, "That's your problem. All you can see is the wall." And I looked him dead in the eye and I said, "When you look at that wall, you've got to be able to see past the wall. You've got to see past the parking lot. You've got to see yourself on stage winning time and time again, and then you've got to go out and do it." And he still couldn't see past the wall. This is the honest truth. I was crowned the first time, 1988 Mr. Universe. I was crowned in 1988. But the honest truth is I won the 1988 Mr. Universe in 1986. I set my mind and I focused and I saw myself 2 years later winning the 1988 Mr. Universe. The problem was I was already Mr. Universe in 86, but the world didn't know it. Only me and God knew it. I knew that I was Mr. Universe. And then day after day, I began to do a lot of little things well. And I saw myself becoming Mr. Universe. And when I stood on that stage in November of 1988, you have to first beat out your class. I'm in a short class, if you guys didn't notice that. And then there's a medium class, and there's a medium tall class, and then there's a tall class. I want to win the overall. So what happened was this. I won my class, but I'm still in the game. I don't want to just win my class. I want to win the whole thing. So everybody that competed, not in the country, but in the world, competed, and I won my class. And then the medium class had to do the same thing. The medium tall class and the tall class. And when they took us out on stage, all 4 winners, they said, overall winner. I did like that. You know why? I had seen it in my mind's eye for 2 whole years. And now this thing is about to culminate. If they would have said somebody else's name, I would have said, no, ho, you made a mistake. That's my award, I'm sorry. Because I knew that I was 1988 Mr. Universe. And that led to a trail of 21 international world titles. But every year prior to the competition, a year prior, I would visualize myself winning. I would visualize myself winning. Now, after that, they had said I've overcome a lot of challenges. Everybody has their story. But I overcame some challenges early on in life. And I had these dreams. Dreams are so important. Don't ever let somebody tell you that dreams are not important. I dreamed, and I dreamed big. For many years, it was only my dreams that kept me alive. Because I knew that someday I wouldn't be in the situation that I was in. But one day, see, a dream will only help you survive. But dreams are for dreamers, those who sleep. And there had to come a time in my life where I woke up out of that dream and made that dream a reality. And that's by putting in motion the things that are required to become the best that you can be. Now, all of those principles, I've applied it in my marriage. Sweetheart, please stand up. Come on, stand up, girl. I'm going to tell you something. Most beautiful girl on the planet. Don't look too long now because I get upset. People look too long. She's awesome. But she's a life and an eternal partner for me. And we are like, it's my best friend, my girlfriend, my business partner. I'm a pastor of a church. She's my ministry partner. I mean, we are in it to win it. Awesome, awesome. Some people will tell you to count up the cost. Whenever you have a dream that you want to fulfill, count up the cost. I beg to differ. Don't count up the cost because the cost will give you an excuse of why not to do it. The cost prolongs thought process of what you want to accomplish. I say don't count the cost. You've got to say whatever it takes, blood, sweat, and tears, I am going to make this happen. Last but not least, when I am finished, I never wanted to be that guy who said, I wish I would have. I should have. I could have. But when you walk past my grave, I want you to be able to say, that guy did everything he wanted to do. His tank is on empty. I don't want you to look at my grave and say, man, look at all of that dead potential. He could have accomplished a lot. I want my tank to be on empty. And finally, I want to say, just like my mentor, I want to stretch my arms out and take a deep breath. It is finished. If you don't know who I'm talking about, it's Jesus Christ. He said it is finished. Everything that he was supposed to do, he accomplished. Everything that I'm supposed to do, I want to accomplish. And one thing that we do a lot with people, as the gentleman said before we came out, with obesity. And we found out there are 75 reasons why people carry excess body fat and they're overweight. And many times what we deal with is only the symptoms. But if you deal with the symptoms and never get to the root of the problem, it'll continue to come back. You're only dealing with the thing that's on the surface. If, like a dandelion, you go to the root and destroy the root, the flower goes away. The extra body fat is only the flower. Let's get at the root. If you want to know more about what we do, come over to our booth. God bless you. Love you guys.